very much, Slacks. Yes, it's myself, Odie Pixel here with Fold, ready to take you through the action of this first exciting best of 3 of the day. BB team up against Falcons, Fold. Here in the lower bracket, we heard from the panel, the records it's gone over the year. It's not been great for BB team. No. Something about this matchup, they just can't win a series here. It's where it counts the most, Fold. For them to hold on in this international run, they've got to do it today.
This is the time to prove it. And it's been really, most of the time, just toward those later stages of the games. I think most of the time when we talk about BBT, early game dominators. It's just, can they close the games out? So many times this year, I swear, me and you have even casted them versus Falcons, 10,000 gold lead, going to 20 minutes, etc. And then they just can't close the game up and end up losing. So, yeah, this is the time to prove it. And a very strong early game aggressive lineup that they've gone for around this Nature's Prophet to try to put pressure on the map early on. But is it going to work out? That's the question. As we see Falcons, they bring out the Primal Beast. Amar, not the most comfortable on it in general, but they are comfortable to pick it now that he's played a couple more times in these pubs.
Absolutely, yeah. Looking forward to see what he's going to be able to pull out from the offlane on the Primal. I mean, overall, so do you like this approach from BB team? It is, again, one of those drafts, right, where you've got, 4 ranged heroes, 1 melee. A lot of this is going to be on the Doom to kind of tank the brunt of the attacks coming in from Falcons, whereas Falcons, they've got a lot more beef across their lineup.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of team fight on Falcons, which can be a bit of a concern. It's just about the early game aggression, and Skitter
stepping up with the blood grenade, looking to run him down. The heal comes in, though. Skitter at the right.
One more hit.
Save, it's enough. It is. First blood for save.
These two, I actually wish, I want a stat line at some point that we need to get. How often do these two get first blood? Especially in some of these lanes, maybe that can have some difficulty with it. Doesn't matter. Even with the Doom, with that Lion, versus a Lina Omni, one of the most defensive lanes, they're still able to get that. I think Save in particular has always impressed us. The way that he's able to make some of these, not most traditional 4 heroes kind of pop out, it's always very impressive.
Now looking at some of these matchups so far in the mid lane, some fantastic stuff here from GPK on the first few waves. 13-5 against the 9-0, getting that early lead against Mallory.
Mallory should be able to do just fine though. Probably just a couple extra denies that you'll see come out from GPK, but bullying the Sand King with the Nature's Prophet a bit difficult. We'll just see the rotations. I'm curious to see if GPK is going to be pretty active, especially toward the top lane, toward the Lina, because I think that's why they wanted this, right? Yeah, you don't have the best ways to get on her at some points, but if the Nature's Prophet's TPing behind, you have great ways to dive.
I mean, that's the thing, right? If you look at both of the side lanes of BB team, they can get action going early, right? They will be able to set up, and yeah, you throw a Nature's Prophet, and on top of that, Falcons have got to be ready for these early movements.
Yeah, because bottom, it can be a little bit of an awkward lane, right? You look at this Mirana plus Wind Ranger, there's not really any setup, but when there's a Shackle Shot and there's a Sprout, could definitely see some potential kills. But this one I would say is the harder one for them to get too aggro on versus the Primal Beast and onto this Hoodwink. They have good ways to reset away. And it's very tanky overall. You see Amar just gets the level 2, or I didn't see which level he got it, but he has the Uproar.
So far, Psyker still having no struggle finding the CS down it. Unless they get massively out of position. I feel difficult for Falcons to get the jump onto the Wind Ranger in the lane.
Yeah, it's all about if he just steps up a bit too far. They do get a nice side pull here from Toronto Tokyo. And thing to point out also, they did get both of the Lotuses in these first 3 minutes. So always important to point it out. When you're playing with Mirana, you know, not the most impactful. Sometimes we meme about this innate, but hey, 20% extra, you get 2 Lotuses. These things can add up in these side lanes.
Mid lane, as you say, starting to catch back up, but the deny is actually building up from GPK.
And let's see how much GPK's micro also comes in, because sometimes I see these NPs mid, it's trying to secure runes when you're playing versus these bottle heroes. So, I mean, Mallory's going to get at least one of them finished up, and potentially just going to get a refill also. So, but GPK trying to put that hurt on.
That's a lot of damage from him and his
And look, he's canceling the TPs, so he is going to be able to deny away that top one. So nicely done.
Top tier mid play so far from GPK to start this one off.
His levels are going to be quick too, so as soon as that level 6 comes off, we're going to have to keep eyes on this Wrath of Nature, how much it's going to be able to do to these side lanes.
Of course, on the top, you know, Snake King should be able to make sure the 2 of them don't ever get left or have to sit very low in HP in this lane. But the bottom one, probably the more vulnerable. Crit's going to have to be careful.
He's got to get some stacks going, it looks like. They can't get too aggressive down here, so Crit we'll work on those. We see Malrine also. It's a Sand King versus this Nature's Prophet, so he's going to be playing around stacks to ensure that he can keep that net worth consistent. Yeah, so far, all 3 lanes though. BBT looking strong.
And this is, as you said, sort of been the story a lot of the times when we do see BBT.
Yes.
Like, this is definitely the part of the game where you really sort of see the kind of the MMRs reflected, right? It's, they're 3 cores at the moment in the top 10 on the board. The laning, the mechanics early on, they're going to be pretty flawless.
Yeah, absolutely. And top overall, I'm just watching them. I'm always watching this top lane from BBT is how much they can go for these dive plays onto Skeeter, because Skeeter is struggling a little bit up here. 400 net worth behind the Doom at the moment. And NP has hit 6, so I'm watching. Wrath of Nature's up, TP's up. Do they want to make an aggressive move off of that immediately? No,
GPK is definitely going to be ready to join if they do want to dive. But at the same time, Falcons, you can always imagine a quick TP response from Crit or something, that they can respond and they can fight back.
The cool thing that he's doing right now, though, is he's got this catapult wave in mid, right? So he knows that Malrine has to TP back to the mid lane. So if he makes an aggressive move to a side lane now, there's definitely not going to be a Sand King. And this tower is taking a beating.
Yeah, the 6 minutes in. Look how much damage has already been done by GPK to this mid tier 1. It's basically dead.
It's pretty much gone.
One more push, and this tier 1 tower is going to be taken off the map.
That's going to open up the map for him even more so, too, to make that type of move. Doesn't have to worry about... he doesn't have to worry about where the Sand King is in particular once they take out that tower. They'll have so much information.
Yeah, slow start, but a very steady and sure one here for BB Team. 2K net worth lead already, just 6 minutes in.
Lane dominators.
And Falcons, after when you're going through this laning stage, is it just sort of full focus on making sure you don't give up kills? What's sort of the calls being made from Falcons?
I think it's just making sure that Skeeter doesn't get surrounded.
Yeah.
It's going to come very soon. It feels that they're going to look to pressure these towers with this NP having such a good start. The tower's dead mid. So 7 minutes also, he can look to contest the Wisdom Rune if he'd like to, if they had a secondary person in position, but...
Yeah, it does look like it. Crit setting up just in case the TP was going to be coming in, but as you say, GPK not going to look to make that risky move, so Crit will be able to secure his own Wisdom Rune.
Don't need to make these type of risky moves. I'm sure they're feeling it as well, too. It's like, we're not feeling pressure on these lanes whatsoever. We've killed the Lina, NP's taken the tower, Wind Ranger's not under pressure. It's a free farm across the board for them right now.
Yeah, it really is. Everything definitely going to plan for BB Team. Up
Tokyo.
Now, though, Toronto Tokyo is found in the trees by Crit. The setup.
Scouts the ward. So he tried to make a sneaky play there, but the ward was already placed from snaking about a minute or so ago. So they will see, or 2 minutes ago, sorry. So they saw this one coming in. They got the stun.
Look at this quick move now from the 3 of them. They want to try and punish Psyker here on the Wind Ranger.
See how far up Psyker does go.
4 heroes on the job here to try and kill this Wind Ranger. They get the setup here from Amar. Quick turn with the shackle shot. TP stunning to come in from BB Team.
Nice stun.
He's in with the stun to hold them back, but it doesn't matter. Crit still in with the pushback. Gets the catch.
Skeeter.
They'll get the kill. GPK, TP's in and he's ready to fight back, but Malrine, he's turned up as well. He's in with the Burrow Strike and the Eptenter in on
huge damage.
GPK going down slowly, but surely he's out. Toronto taking
another stun.
Crit once more with the pushback, catching the 2 of them. Double kill for Malrine. They've got the level 6 on the bar. They have to grab. They're going to get the team wipe.
Good numbers.
What a fight. They bring the numbers. They start off with just the 4 of them. It gets the response from BB Team. But Falcons just able to play that out that little bit better. Crit getting some fantastic bushwhacks. And yeah, GPK TP's in, but after the initial sort of presence and a few right clicks, he's left vulnerable on the front lines.
Skeeter does go down, but they have overwhelming damage that comes in from this Primal and Sand King. Malrine, a clutch move. Level 8 now. We've seen a couple times Sand Kings do this with their first rotations. The first epicenter is devastating.
I mean, at the start, it looks like, hey, you know what, BBT, maybe they're going to get out of this, but Crit coming in from that extra angle from the left sets up. They kind of fully focus in onto Skeeter, and that leaves GPK in this position where he's got nothing else to do other than to try and run away.
Yeah, in hindsight, it probably is just a bit of an over-aggressive TP where he goes. Maybe he could have placed himself a little closer to the tower on this Nature's Prophet, but he put himself pretty much right in the midst of everybody, and the big team fight damage that can come out from this Falcons lineup, it can accelerate quickly.
Yeah,
Sand King and Primal is a ton of early game damage.
Well, we see already. Might get another chance to take down Psyker there, and with the Burrow Strike, Psyker's trying to escape, but Snaking slams him down with a hammer. Falcons, they have completely wiped away those early, 7 minutes, where BB Team were dominating the lanes. That's completely gone now.
And now they've got control of this bottom side, too. I mean, 2 back-to-back kills on the Wind Ranger. Definitely concerning for him.
And Malrine is going to hit some fantastic timings these games with his early involvements. 2-0-3. He's 1,800 gold already onto the Blink Dagger. It's going to be super quick this game.
Yeah, and the levels are just coming out super fast just from winning a team fight like that. So Overall, BB does have to be careful how they make those over-aggressive moves a little bit here. Unless they can like pop the targets almost instantly. Maybe once they have like the lion finger, they can do another aggressive move like that to kill a target fast, but they need to kill them quick before Falcons reacts.
Absolutely. I mean, it is again the nature of the draft, right, that we talked about. The Doom, the only melee hero. Outside of that, it's a lot of squishies.
It's true. And
if they get caught in the wrong position in a team fight, they will get picked off one by one, especially against all this amount of huge burst and AoE, especially like this stage of the game, right? Falcons, they've got an incredible magic damage output.
Magic damage output and just lots of AoE stuns. So GPK starting to get the push going here with his tree at the top. It's going to die, though, so it does make his way at least to mid to maybe take away the rune from Malrine.
Oh, there it is, 10-minute Blink Dagger.
So early.
On top of this phase boost already, Malrine. He's already been a huge threat across the map. That's only going to continue now.
I think his courier's dead, though, right?
I think so. Yeah, it is.
I didn't see where it did die. Yeah, so, I mean, a minute where he's not going to be able to bring it unless somebody else brings it out to him. So it could be a little bit of space, perhaps, for Saika to
Crit's got it. Crit's bringing it out.
Crit's bringing it? Okay, I was going to say, that's usually... I've been seeing a couple players doing this when they do lose courier, and they're going to instantly smoke him, so... Really clever move, and let's see if they're prepared for it on the side of BBT. Scan comes out, so they're aware of at least GPK's positioning at the moment.
He's going to try and get the opening onto Toronto Tokyo, but a couple of leaps will be enough to save him. Under the tier 2, this might be a bit too much for Falcons. I mean, they may be tempted to dive the tower. We'll see.
He's pretty fragile on the Wind Ranger.
Yeah, they're going to go for it. Straight away with the epicenter and the burrow. The bushwhack perfectly timed afterwards. Keeps Saika locked down. Another kill on the Wind Ranger.
They might go for
really
more.
Holding his game behind. Got the catch, leaps, they're all on cooldown. Toronto Tokyo's got no way to get away from this.
And you can tell Morris practiced that. He did the combo where you instantly use the charge afterwards from the pulverize. No way to react. They're accelerating things quickly. GPK is trying to do almost the same, but look at Falcons responding right away.
Coming in, Malrine, he's going to be ready with a blink stun. If BB send anyone up to this tier 1 tower, I mean, they're already starting to hold back a little bit, GPK and Mirror, because I think they know this is not a safe place for them to try and push on.
I think for BBT, they need to just get this Blink Dagger on Miro so he can start getting involved, because it's a little bit scary for them at the moment without him. And like you said, he needs to be that tanky force to jump in and start the action. Otherwise, it's a Nature's Prophet TPing in and likely just dying to all those big magic bursts. So definitely needing that Blink. But it's giving time for Skater to catch back up. He was the one who was struggling a bit on the side of Falcons, but he is actually ahead of the Wind Ranger now. 2K lead for Falcons.
Yeah, they're, when they start to get the lead at this point, I don't think they themselves will feel under too much pressure to make moves happen. They're happy to farm up on all 3 of their cores.
Absolutely.
They know that it's going to still be quite the recovery needed for Saika after a rough start here. 3 deaths in the early game as the Wind Ranger carry.
That can be pretty brutal when you're playing versus some tanky cores, right? Versus this Sand and Primal that can just get on top of you. And then you throw an Omni Knight who just makes them even tankier, more durable. We'll see how they address this. Amar, he's also queued up the pipe, so really understanding the damage limits from BBT early on. There's the smoke, so they've got their Blink now in the Doom. Can they find anything? Because right now, everybody on Falcons just split up farming.
They are. They're getting a lot out of the map right now, Falcons. So BBT, when they make these sort of smoke movements, they have to get something good out of it.
Otherwise, it just quickly starts to show in the net worth. It's going to, now up to 3K, it's going to quickly accelerate if they don't find a connection.
At the moment, nobody's down here. Their best effort may be to take the twin gate and try and look for a play up top, but even then, it's only Snaking showing themselves. You see on the map right now, they don't see a lot, BB team. Falcons, whilst they're making as much as they can out of the lanes and the jungles, it's causing it to be incredibly difficult for BB team to find some sort of successful movement. Snaking, they'll just have to maybe settle for it, but even that, repel and a TP, they're not even going to get the chance to set up onto a support. Falcons just completely evading the moves from BB team.
Yeah, playing the map beautifully. Snaking goes mid. It's the most dangerous position on the map, perhaps, but he's fine with doing that as this Omni Knight. Tends to be the case for Snaking. He does get picked off sometimes, but that's usually their plan. It's tough to get too over-aggressive on BBT because of how early that Sand King Blink came out, because of the Primal Beast. They have great ways just to counter-gank any of the BB aggression.
Still got a lot of damage. GPK can kind of get that level 2 in the Wrath of Nature.
Yeah.
He's closing in on the 12. And the Gleipnir. That's going to be the next sort of spot in which that they can look to get him involved. He's going to have a bit of control that's going to help him stop Falcons from getting the jump onto him.
Save. Looking for Snay again. Big Wrath of Nature.
I mean, they may be considering if they can go with the Finger Burst in the Doom. They're going to go for it. Now the tempo of the game slowed down, so they're happy to drop some ults here to kill off the Omni Knight. And they'll get him. Snaking slowly but surely go down. Gets a few CS on the way out.
There's going to be an instant smoke from Falcons, though. So you get a kill, but it's on a 5 position. It's one of your big spells, probably your biggest one in this game committed. So have to avoid the ganks now from Falcons on the side of BBT.
And they expect that Miro's going to be playing on the top as we see Falcons come through the twin gate.
Yeah, we see Miro, of course, doing the trick. I'll try to point it out when I can, but, you know, selling stuff for Midas, etc. We'll be keeping tabs on him so he can keep that farm going. And they've reestablished at least that net worth a bit. Just from that one kill, things are at least evened out. He's farming very well.
He really is. Yeah, top net worth now on the Prophet. We'll see over towards the mid. Jump spin made over towards Toronto, Tokyo. He's got a leap at the ready. He's out. See if they can continue to play around with save. Anything to put a stop to this? There isn't, so save's also away, but Amar does manage to get the grab on Toronto, Tokyo. So Falcons finding a kill nonetheless.
Falcons kind of gave them the respect there, though. Even though they didn't have Doom or anything ready, they were a bit cautious how they approached the two supports.
Oh, they might be going for Miro now, though.
Oh, now they see him up top, this ward too, spotting him.
Oh, okay. A little bit of a pause, Reno. We're going to see, though, after this, what Crit, he's likely to have the setup onto Miro, and Mallory does have Epicenter.
He looks pretty dead.
If they want to do it safe and sound, they can just set up with a bushwhack, rev up the Epicenter, get in, and Miro not really having many options to get out of this, and does not have any backup nearby.
No. Unless they mess up their chain stun somehow and he's able to TP in between it. That's probably the only way that Miro is able to play his way out of this one. In the meantime, too, Falcons are pressuring mid. They have a pipe already finished up on Amar, so damage for BBT is a bit limited.
See Miro. Yep. He's going to try and juke around.
Okay, kind of mean he's still going.
They're going to get him. It's a little sloppy, but a kill's a kill.
Don't need the burrow trick save. Let's find the Hex on Amar, but Amar has 2,000 HP with a pipe.
Yeah, Amar's like, I'll go in. Save, he turns with a quick stun. But yeah, Amar very much showing right now, there's not a lot that he's scared of.
He looks pretty unkillable unless he gets like Doom and Fingered, it feels like. Especially if he has an Omni Knight behind him. This build is going to be very valuable versus the majority of magic damage that BBT has early on. GPK does have the Gleipnir finish. Level 2 Wrath of Nature is online. So let's see if he can make more active stuff happen. If they want to make more active stuff happen, that is.
No, that's true. I mean, does GPK want to look to fight, or do you think he wants to look to continue to farm and get the BKB before he starts turning up? Because there is a lot of stuns on Falcon.
Yeah, I think the BKBs are going to be pretty necessary versus the Sanking and Primal. I mean, even versus the Lina. It's a lot of magic. It's a lot of just mixed hybrid damage on the side of Falcon, so they might actually have to wait for that. But do you really want to give so much time is the question. I think as we said, as the panel said, as everybody kind of knows throughout this year, you don't want to give time to Falcons. You want to be the ones aggressing and putting pressure on them. Lion save is close to a Blink Dagger as well. That's actually pretty impressive with how passive the kind of game state has been. So perhaps with that as well, they're going to be able to make another aggressive move. Yeah,
between the Finger Burst and the Doom, I mean, it's not necessarily a guaranteed kill on a lot of these targets because they have so high HP.
Ooh. And also, Malrine does have a shield rune. So even if they throw, let's say, a Doom onto him, if he pops the shield rune post-Doom, could be problematic for him as well. As Miro shows himself for a second, and they're going aggro.
He's going to look for the setup, and Malrine's coming in with the follow-up. Miro once again not going to have anybody around to save him as Falcons pick up another freebie across the map.
They're getting so much. It's tough for BBT to make aggressive moves, and yeah, it does feel like it's probably going to have to get those BKBs online. I think Saika, you have to accelerate your BKB. We've seen a lot of these Wind Rangers. As the tournament progressed, it was straight Gleipnir most of the times, but I think the team started to recognize you need to go BKB a little earlier. But he's still not that close either. Those 3 deaths really slowing him down. Toronto, Tokyo.
He's pretty deep here.
He's very
testing the vision of Falcons. They're going to see him. They don't quite get the opening.
Nope. Those guys
are going to be off the mark. Marian's still able to blink in and try and body block him off. Toronto, Tokyo is out at leaps. And that will mean that he is still very dead, despite the initial spells missing from Falcons. It doesn't matter at this point. They can kill these heroes regardless.
Just limited moves. BBT, it's going to have to be waiting for BKB.
Save.
It does feel like it. Save's going to go for a pick.
The opening.
There's an Omni here.
Backups. Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
That happens to the best of us.
I don't think they had him anyway. And now GPK.
Well, no, I mean, that's what Save will tell you. Is that we weren't going to get him anyway. Well, that was...
Oh, no.
It doesn't look great, folks.
Things are crumbling quick, Owen.
They are first game out here on the main stage, and it may be getting to BBT.
Does feel like it's 3-15. I mean, after the first 5 minutes, right, that was them doing 1 lanes, but nothing's gone their way at all after that. Miro spotted bottom. Amar, he's on him.
He is. See if Miro's got a way to play out of this. This time he might be able to escape.
But they also lose Toronto, Tokyo in the mid. There's just action everywhere.
I mean, Miro
Doom comes out.
Down the Doom. Snakey's going to be here with the backup. Can they at least kill Amar?
Nope.
They can't. Not even with the 3th, and they have to fall back.
This is rough.
Yeah, Amar knows this well. He's ready to start throwing some tips out. This game is looking incredibly difficult for BB Team to hold on in.
Yeah, and Amar, they talked about the Primal Beast. It's something that Malrine has played the majority of their games. I know even at the last tournament, when they picked Primal, they actually had them swap, and they played different roles. So
here we go. Maybe they get Snaking. He's pretty tanky still.
He's quite tanky.
As a support.
He has a Solar Crest.
See what he wants to do. How many buttons he wants to press whilst he makes them sort of spend a lot of time. They can't even kill him. They can't even get him close to dead.
Oh, and this game is completely fallen out of control. They get GPK as well. Top, there's a Bloodstone on Malrine. Top net worth. They can't even kill the 5 position. Sometimes Falcons, they sacrifice their 5s, their supports, etc. This game, they don't even have to sacrifice them. They're just running away with everything.
And this has got to feel rough for them. You've got to imagine, right? You've been there yourself. When you're on stage, a game happens like this. This is your first game out there. How are you kind of getting the team morale back together after beginning this rough?
It's a good question, especially when you're playing versus your kryptonite of the entire year. You come into this one with an idea, with a plan, and it's just completely fallen apart after the first 6 minutes, 7 minutes.
There we go.
They're going to smoke again.
See what they can get here. Jump onto the side. Save's going to be there with a Hex. There's backup for Skidder.
Here's Skidder.
Race down onto the 2 of them. They'll get the kill. They'll be able to take down Crit.
Malrine,
trying to focus.
He's healing.
Bloodstone heal indeed. He's keeping him alive. He's over with the bars.
Oh
double kill for Malrine. They're going to get GPK as well. Triple kill. They could kill Crit, but I don't think they could kill any other of these heroes on Falcons.
It doesn't feel like... I look at the timings Malrine's hit. He's got Bloodstone Veil, and of course he gets the most OP neutral item he could have possibly got for the scenario too.
My goodness.
The Vampire Fangs. He just sustains through it all. He's up to full HP. Level 18. Oh boy.
We'll see it again. A little sort of split efforts at the beginning on who to go on.
They just don't have the damage at this point. I mean, Malrine, look, he's just soaking all but 3 targets beating on him with the Solar Flare active.
I mean, that's the thing. I feel like GPK TPing in there just gave Malrine more units to lifesteal off.
Perhaps.
He wasn't doing any damage.
Oh, boy. We've seen Doom struggle in quite a bit of these games, especially in this road to TI, but now, I mean, it's not Miero's fault in particular, but the whole lineup in general is just kind of crumbling. 4-21, they're going to lose their Tormentor, too.
Yeah, Falcons just taking everything across the map. It's going to take some sort of comeback. Like I feel we just don't really see from BB Team at this point to turn this one around. It's going to have to be something completely, a complete surprise, something we've never seen before from them. Because right now everything is looking up for Falcons.
Because even when now at this point, the fact that the game has gotten so one-sided, when they get these BKBs, yeah, they'll be a little more survivable, but we've seen they just have no damage, and more of these auras are coming out. Primal Beast, we see Amar. He's got the Crimson. You can see Toronto Tokyo's desperate stuff.
Okay. He takes his chance, they get out. Toronto Tokyo, he's just trying to get some sort of vision.
Waves.
Getting something out on the map, but they kill him again.
Yeah. They've got no control of the map whatsoever. Like, everyone's just trying to, like, suicide lanes a little bit, but it kind of just is that at this point, this suiciding. 0-8 on Toronto Tokyo. And I don't think yet this game I've seen them been able to catch any like arrow setups with the shackle shot or with the sprout or anything. I mean, I know the game accelerated quickly after those first 7 minutes, but they just aren't landing any type of synergy spells. While Falcons, it is landing nicely. And now pushing this tier 2, Amar dropping the flags, and they bought themselves a gem. So on top of already having complete control of the map, now they're looking to take out the little vision that BBT did have. So smooth sailing, it feels like now for Falcons, unless they make some type of crucial mistakes.
I mean, this is the thing as well. I feel like their lineup is pretty resistant to mistakes, right? They've got a lot of the auras online, they've got a lot of frontline, they've got a lot of ways to dive high ground, they've got a lot of save from snaking. It feels like even the high ground push for this lineup on Falcons is still a point where it's going to be so difficult for BB Team to punish.
I look at the HP on these heroes, right? Like, yeah, Malrine doesn't look as tanky because it's only 2200 HP, but he's got 30 armor, he's got that insane sustain that comes out, they've got an Omni behind. They're all very durable at this point, and BBT's damage, it just hasn't really increased too much. As we said, survivability's up, the BKB's up on 2 of the cores, actually about to be up on the 3rd core as well from Miero, but will that be enough damage for them to go through? Just doesn't feel like it.
And who do you even look to go for? When they're sort of holding the defense against the 5-man push, if you're Miero, who are you jumping in and looking as your key Doom target?
At this point, who knows? You probably want the Sand King, but then you have to be careful of the Omni, so maybe some simultaneous initiation while the Omni sees controlled, but at this point now, Snaking's just tanky. So you have to keep him controlled the whole time because you're not going to kill him. So I don't know, Owen. Because you're also playing into Aegis, it's just complications everywhere.
Yeah, Mar's going to start working on a Lotus as well to throw another sort of problem into the mix here for BB Team.
Yeah, they're already ahead of the steps that they need to worry about, like getting these Lincolns and Lotus. They can start doing it if they'd like to, but... And there's some pretty crazy levels to point out as well. Maureen, we talking about how flawless his game has been on the Senki. Level 20 at 24 minutes is pretty crazy. That has to be one of the highest XPs I think I've seen in this tournament.
There we go with the push. BB Team, they've got to do something now. Smoke up's there.
Who do you go for? Hey, they gotta go for some type of crazy wraparound, but the positioning, it's already been given up.
They're gonna try.
Maureen's already in his spot to watch the smoke.
Can they make some sort of jump that catches Falcons by surprise? Save. Leading the way, they'll get the vision set up. The smoke will dispel here. Sage's gonna jump straight away. They're gonna find Snaking. Can they kill him? No, Maureen is in with a counter play. The two-man.
Mira's gone.
They're fully committing it onto Snaking, but they can't kill him. He pretty much fully heals. They just can't do the damage. Falcons survive. Now
That's it. That's over.
Falcons dominate game one.
This one was not even close, it felt like. You know, we talked up BBT's early game, talked how sometimes they can get these advantages early on. That didn't happen, Owen. It's going to be back to the drawing board, it feels like a bit for them as Falcons.